yesterday the questions came about Eberflus, about the defense, about where this thing was headed. And in particular was the fact that the Cowboys, before that game, and this was Saturday night, it became clear that this would be the 30th. They would go 30 straight years without playing in an NFC title game. And the last Super Bowl, obviously, was the 95 season. So that would have been in 96 when they played in that Super Bowl. And, you know, at that time, you won 3 Super Bowls in 4 seasons. And you just kind of thought with Aikman and Irvin and Emmett and the triplet still in place that it might just go on forever. And who knew that it would just come to a halt, and that there are 30-year-old people now that have never seen it. I mean, Scotty is now tracking towards 34, I think. And so he might have some tiny memory of the Cowboys playing in that Super Bowl as he tracks toward 34. Probably has a hard time, though, with that. Although knowing his family, they were all watching it. So maybe he's seen so many highlights of those Super Bowls, he thinks he saw it. But he probably does. He probably has some memory of that. But, and Scotty, by the way, if you're wondering why Scotty's not popping on, Scotty has the flu today, and he's fighting that. And so we're gonna end the show, especially that and the holidays. We'll peace out a little bit early today. But Jerry Jones was answering for that. And, you know, it's the good thing and the bad thing about Jerry. The good thing is he knows he's the GM and he's the owner and he needs to be accountable. And most owners I've dealt with, I knew Jeff Lurie of the Eagles. I knew Dan Snyder when he was the owner of the what used to be called the Redskins. And I've talked to John Mara and Steve Tisch and that gang before, but I actually knew Lurie and even Snyder a little better. Now, not anywhere near, because I've been covering Jerry forever. But those people are available once or twice a year. Jerry is available almost all the time. So in one case, kind of like Cuban used to be, Mark Cuban, on one case, it's nice that they're available. It's nice that they're accessible. But then again, he can't, because he operates as the GM, those other people, at least hired people. Now, they got a lot of their hires wrong over the years, but Jeffrey Lurie got this last one right with Howie Roseman, who's now been the GM there for, I don't know, going on like 10 years, 10 to 15 years. And that guy will be in the Hall of Fame someday. Jerry's already in the Hall of Fame. But it's not really as the GM. It's about like what he did for the league. It's about being an owner. And as Jerry knows as well as anybody, he'll never get the credit that he thinks he deserved for those 3 Super Bowls. You know, Jimmy will get the lion's share of the credit because, you know, the thought is that he was really the architect of the Herschel Walker trade. And that kills Jerry, even to this day. That's one of the things that drives Jerry. And so people will be like, well, Jerry's 83 now. Surely he doesn't have a lot of years left to do this. You haven't met the man. I have a sense that Jerry at age 93, 10 years from now, will still be outside those locker rooms having the same conversations. And I wish I could say, well, you know, Jerry, he's still the same. He's still the same. Now he's acknowledging how bad it is and like, you know, what it must be like for fans. But again, he's not willing to change. He'll fire people. He'll fire Matt Eberflus, but the structure of the Cowboys will never change until Jerry's gone. And as I fully expect him to live to 100, if not past that. I do. And has it been clean living? I wouldn't go that far, but I do think there's something to being active and having an active mind and being driven and being in business and never retiring. I mean, I think that does carry people and drive people. And that is And Jerry Jones is still getting it done to this day. Let's take though. I want to listen in. This is Jerry Jones after the game, and I want to let you hear a little bit of this, and then we'll jump in and respond to a couple of these things.
What's your level of disappointment in the home season this way?
Well, I'm disappointed for the obvious. I'm disappointed for all these fans that count on us to have a better ending at the not only for the home season, for the season. So that's just a reminder of candidly how it feels when you don't get it done. I thought we had a tale of two halves. The offense looked outstanding today in the first half, and defense played well in the second half. We just couldn't get them together out there.
We do. Did Eberflus going to the box make much of a difference for you?
Did what?
Eberflus going to the box, how much difference do you think that made?
Well, I thought in the first half we could have played much better defense, not to be trite. But the second half, I thought we played pretty good defense, and we just completely not got away, but we just weren't able to continue what we were doing on offense first half. But I thought it worked good in the second half.
Can you take anything positive out of the season now that you're out of the playoffs? I mean, second year in a row missing the playoffs. Now that the so-called drought is now 30 years.
Yeah. You have to dissect it, and you have to go hunting for the good things, and you should really, when you have great years, you should hunt up the bad things. The thing about the game, about most of what we all do, is that there are good things and there are negative things, and on times like this, you have to dwell on the good things, and you can look for them. They're out there, but you can't dwell on them because obviously we didn't get it done to not be sitting here getting in the playoffs.
Jerry, do you feel like this team underachieved this year?
Yes, from what we expected, what we thought, absolutely, it did. We all underachieved, really, and the fact we're not in the playoffs says that for you. But I thought we've done some things out there that, frankly, we can carry forward to us with us. It's always the case that there's some positive things. The question is, can we make some changes where we need to? That's be pretty thorough and multiple, a lot of multiplication there with the way we played this year. But still, there are positive things. There always are, and that's one of the things about going in a coaches meeting and looking at film. If you don't look out, you'll see positive things when you really should be more critical to the negative. And I think you have to do that to play the game, be involved in the game.
What are your greatest areas of concern, Jerry?
Well, I like the way Dak played today. I'm disappointed that we made some of the mistakes in the second half, but I particularly was pleased with what we have in Dak. I'm pleased going forward. Nothing a part of what we've done so far this season gives me anything but optimism about going forward at one of the key, if not the key position, quarterback.
You brought up Dak, and how disappointing it is for Dak to play healthy for much of the season, play this way, and you guys not being in the playoffs, really be out of the playoffs with 3 games to go.
Well, that's a good way to look at things, is when you've got good play, and we had some, for instance, I'll bet when we graded, I'll bet Tyler Smith really played well at left tackle out there, which is pretty impressive when you have your first game out there. So, again, you can always find things that you're proud of. I know that for our fans and for all of us, we need more success in winning these ball games.
All right, stop it for a minute, please.
Excuse me.
All right. I mean, and by the way, you see Ed Werder kind of he's looking at me back there. I was behind Clarence in my sunglasses, of course. And we're just looking at each other because one thing is Clarence said the so-called drought. Well, it's not a so-called drought. It's 30 years without going to NFC title game. Does anybody else have anything that rivals that in the NFC? No. You're the only team. I think the AFC, there may be a couple teams, perhaps the Browns are involved, but that is something the old Cowboys have all to themselves in the NFC. And I think one of the most disturbing things to fans and everything is just that while he'll acknowledge, yes, we underachieved. Yes, we're not getting it done with Dak. He turns it almost immediately like you've got to look at the positives. And then he speaks in circles and says, you need to dwell on them, but then you can't dwell on them. Which one is it? I mean, he's all over the map, but he always comes back to there's positives and there's a lot to be optimistic about. And really what he's optimistic about is he thinks he had a great season from his quarterback. And the numbers will bear that out. I mean, they had the running back had over 1,000 yards. They had 2 1,000-yard receivers. But again, that's more of a damning thing than anything. Think about that. They're 6-8-1 and probably going to finish under 500 or at 500. They're not even close to being in the playoffs. And yet they had that good of an offense. I mean, and really when they had to have it in a had to have it game, I mean, against, in that game at Detroit, did they get it done? No. I mean, it's like you look at some of these games this year when the opposing teams came in and we're talking about bad teams. I mean, you got completely outclassed by Arizona. So if you look at the totality of the numbers, you'd go, oh my gosh, Dak had a great year. Oh, for part of this year, Dak was part of the MVP consideration. I mean, that was happening literally only 2 or 3 weeks ago. But what they did is they were in the tank. They got out of the tank briefly, and they went back in the tank. And then by next year, we'll all convince ourselves, oh, my gosh, this is a team to watch. Oh, the Cowboys could be good. It's one of the least – it's one of the most untrustworthy organizations in all of professional sports because it's just built on bells and whistles. There's rarely any foundation to it. It's nice to have a good quarterback. Oh my gosh, they added another receiver. Oh my goodness, look, they traded for another defensive tackle. There are like bells and whistles and nice shiny things that show up, but it's not sustainable and it's not built on anything. You see teams over these last few years, whether it be the Lions, whether it be, I mean, heck, now it looks like Jacksonville's good. I mean, who in the world would have thought that? Looks like the Broncos. And by the way, Broncos had a tough loss yesterday, but still, looks like the Broncos perhaps are built to last with great young quarterback. The Cowboys have now been in this world of great quarterback, but can't do anything with it. And again, you can only, in these last 30 years that we're talking about, as now this drought becomes official, there have only been a few close calls to getting in NFC title games. If you think about it, I mean, they were great in 2007, and they did the Cabo thing, and the Giants got hot. The Giants beat them, and the Cowboys couldn't score at the end of that game. There was a drive right before the half in that game. Cowboys were in control of that game. 2007, a team that made it, number 1 seed in all of the NFL, and then gets beat at home by the Giants in a divisional game. That was a team that should have gone to an NFC title game. They were stacked. Romo was playing great. He was young, but of course they thought, oh, we'll have so many more shots at this. And then they had the infamous game where Jason Garrett was coaching and the Dez. Did he drop it? Aaron Rodgers, by the way, would have had time to come back down the field. It's not like that totally would have ended it right there. It was a great catch and it was a disputed call. And if they win that game, they would have gone to the NFC title game. So you really can only think of, they had a divisional playoff game out there in LA, but I didn't think with the Rams and that team with Goff, when Goff was there, that team made the Super Bowl, didn't it? I was out there for that. I mean, but they didn't come that close in that game. They were outclassed in that game. So I'm sitting here thinking of literally 2 close calls in that 30-year period. They were not good in any of those last Aikman years. They were not. They went to the playoffs one year in 2003 with Quincy. They were not. That was with Parcells. They lost that playoff game, Parcells' last year, which would have been 2006. So really, there have only been 2 close calls in 30 years. And so this delusion of trying to act like we were there, we were knocking on the door, is just kind of crazy. It's disturbing that Jerry keeps coming back to. We do a lot of. We got to look at these positives. We got to look how good we are. Look at McCarthy. We had 3 straight 12-win seasons. Look at how good we were. In none of those McCarthy seasons did they had the one playoff game against the Niners, and they get the Niners at home, and they couldn't even figure out how to get a playoff and how to handle the end of that season. That would have been the 2021 season. Then another game out there. So you got to a point where you couldn't get past the 49ers. You certainly couldn't get past the Packers at home. That was another team that people thought might have a chance to do something, and just flatline in a home playoff game. Under McCarthy, just years and years of disappointment. And I think this time of year, the holidays, and as the playoffs come back, this stuff just comes flooding back. And the one constant in all of this is the guy we're hearing from right now. Let's hear just a little bit more from Jerry, and then we'll call it a day.
Play today.
I without looking at it, I wouldn't know when he was in or out of coverage, but I thought he played with a lot of really awareness, and so I thought he played well. He played against some good competition. That's a good quarterback out there. So basically, from what I can see, and it's real hard to tell sometimes when it looks like that you didn't do a good job covering, but obviously people go uncovered. But still, I was glad to see him back out there.
Jerry, when you're mathematically eliminated,
Excuse me?
When you're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, what's the benefit in still playing your starters, still having guys out there, and not just saying we don't want to risk injury to players like that person?
Well, I think that we've got to remember that we've got a lot of people that want to watch us play good football, and a lot of fans. And consequently, I felt strongly about tonight playing all of our key players, and feel strongly about it as we go forward. The only time I've ever questioned not playing a good player was the immediacy of if you've got you're in the playoffs automatically, and you don't want to have a player nicked up as you get to the playoffs in a 2 or 3 week period of time. I'm not. I don't would hope to be aware enough to know if you're playing somebody this year, you won't have him for next year. That's pretty far out.
You brought up Tyler Smith at left tackle. Is he an option for left tackle next year in the future?
Well, no, but he's there as a tackle. You know, we've had the great experience of moving Larry Allen out there, and he makes All-Pro. But we've always thought that Tyler Smith could be a great left tackle. But that's not to say that we don't think that we've got a good chance with Guyton of having our left tackle there, and I don't want to imply that at all.
How alarming is your consistent inability to rush the passer? And this guy, Herbert's a great player, but he's been hit, he's been pressured, and sacked more than any quarterback in football, and you got nothing.
Yeah, I was disappointed, very disappointed today, and a great question. We came in really planning to get pressure and didn't. It obviously was a disappointment not to have Quentin out there, but we got some good play from 95. I had my eye on him a lot during the ball game. So, but it was disappointing not to have more pressure on him. He's pretty obvious on our evaluation of his past games that when you pressure him more, he has less production. So that was a shortcoming of us today. We couldn't get pressure.
Hey, Jerry, as you stand here with 2 games to go, how difficult is the decision you face regarding Matt Eberflus and whether to bring him back or not?
Well, I don't know that, relatively speaking, I might not couch it as difficult. It's certainly something that we have to do, and that is look at the entire year and look at what our options are and how to correct not being here at the same time next year. So now that's not uncommon to evaluate at this time of the year your entire coaching staff. And obviously the target's on him because of our statistical as well as actual play on the defensive side of the ball. But that goes with it. That's the life that the guys have chosen, and they know that you're under the gun almost every game, much less for a full season as a coach. That goes with the profession.
Within that evaluation, how do you evaluate the job that you in the front office did in terms of making talent to work with?
Well, I think that's to be good, and the very fact that ultimately you point your finger right back at you on who hired Matt Eberflus. So my point is, the whole thing is real easy to sit here and say that you could have done things differently. But that goes with the territory. And anytime you ultimately make the ultimate decision, then you've got to look at that and weigh it.
Jerry, when you look back at it now, Parsons' trade, did it have more of a negative impact on the defense than you thought it would?
I'd like to think that with where we are, I'm not so sure that one position, one player would have had us in necessarily a different situation, and so. But that's a fair look as to would we have been maybe at a higher level. What did we finish the year before with Parsons?
7-10.
No, I'm talking about. I've forgotten what we were ranked on defense the year before with Parsons. And we had a lot of games we didn't have Parsons. So he shouldn't be held responsible for those games that he didn't play, in my view. But we'll take all that in consideration.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Of course, we didn't have.
Now the so-called drought.
I like that Ed was back there, helping out. Jerry, you were this ranked. You were ranked this. Ed's like the kid at school who's raising his hand, calling me. He's like trying to answer all the questions. Jerry's like, how were we last year? Jerry's kind of being cocky when he said that. Like Micah did. We weren't that great last year. And the truth is Micah missed a few games. And when he was out, they were horrific. And when he came back, they were a lot better. So this thought that, one player won't make a difference and all that kind of stuff. I don't. Eberflus deserves to get fired, but they handed him a big bag of nothing. They traded the team's arguably the best player and obviously the best defensive player the week before the season, and said, here's Shotty, go out and Eberflus, welcome to Dallas. I know you've been thinking about what you might do with Micah Parsons, the best pass rusher in the league. But just go out there and just try to do this with nothing. Try to go out there and see if you can get this done. We got you Kenny Clark, though. Kenny's about 30, and he's a good guy. He's been around, and we think you'll enjoy him. And so that was how that went. But